I get vibrations from Mr. Bob Roberts of a very disturbing sort. I haven't any idea who he is. I haven't any idea what he's like. I don't think I'm supposed to have any idea. I know that he proved to be a master of pushing racist buttons and sexist buttons, this and that. The politics of emotion. He's very good at that. What's behind it? I don't see anybody at home. But I will say that once or twice in the course of our debate, I detected a slight whiff of sulfur in the air.
I'm a bleeding heart. Let's give money away to lazy people in the slums. I'm a bleeding heart. Let's eliminate our nuclear bombs. Arabs can be our friends. Right. Don't vote if you believe in that. We'll be fine without you. It's plain to see what you believe will lead to anarchy.
When Scott Brown, the teabagger candidate, won the senatorial election in Massachusetts, I thought it would be fitting to review Bob Roberts, the very funny 1992 mockumentary written, directed, and starring Tim Robbins. With tributes to the Bob Dylan documentary Don't Look Back, it's the story of a folk-singing, conservative, faux-populist who seemingly comes out of nowhere to challenge an incumbent Democrat for a Pennsylvania senatorial seat. But as I watched the film, it became clear that candidate Roberts isn't as much Scott Brown as Sarah Palin, whipping sellout crowds into a bigoted, conservative frenzy based on a cult of personality with not a single new, interesting, or effective idea to back it up. Did Robbins' film predict the future? Just check out Bob Roberts and see for yourself. Robbins, whose real-life liberal leanings should be a secret to no one, plays Roberts, an ultra-conservative who rebelled against his hippie parents by enrolling in a military college before going to Yale Business School and eventually becoming a Wall Street millionaire. Couching himself as a man of the people, he sings to sold-out teabagger-like crowds about topics like whining liberals, being rich, and how drug users should be hanged. Roberts is managed by an experienced, Dick Cheney-like Washington insider played by the incomparable Alan Rickman, and handled by a cheesy spin doctor played by Ray Wise. Roberts' opponent is an intelligent, earnest, aging Democrat named Brickley Paste, played by author, activist, and progressive hero Gore Vidal. Paste starts the film with a comfortable lead over Roberts, not unlike Martha Coakley in Massachusetts did, which erodes when rumors of an affair surfaced, most likely originating from the Roberts camp. The media, enamored by the young, fresh, charismatic Roberts, fails to challenge the veracity of this rumor and is content to simply repeat it, a media failure we would see again with the fake William Ayers controversy that dogged Obama. In fact, the only reporter who seems to be doing his job is a wild-eyed writer for a small independent newspaper, essentially a blogger, who attempts to uncover the truth behind Roberts' nonprofit organization Broken Dove and its connection to the CIA, Iran-Contra, and the savings and loan scandal. As we follow Roberts on the campaign trail, you see that he and his team have masterfully created the persona of what can only be called a conservative rebel, part Bob Dylan and part Ronald Reagan, adopting the style of 60s protest music while attacking everything the 60s stands for. Roberts plays to the anger of voters who have lost their jobs and are worried about the economy by attacking the poor and threatening to eliminate the social programs struggling Americans rely on. He preaches personal freedom while demonizing Americans who exercise it and don't share his narrow conservative values. He wants to lead America to a bright new future by taking America backwards, smiling while he plays pleasant, folksy music with lyrics by Rush Limbaugh. And with America gearing up for the first Gulf War, he's more than happy to play to the fear of foreign boogeymen while portraying his opponent as weak on defense. Roberts carefully dodges the issues, talking in well-crafted sound bites and offering few solutions, yet his supporters see him as a prophet and a visionary. But the fascistic undertones of his message aren't lost on his overwhelmingly white followers, best exemplified by a trio of clean-cut young men led by a very young and intense Jack Black, who are eager to be foot soldiers in Roberts' culture war. While Bob Roberts effectively skewers the right wing, it's also an indictment of our political system and media, which celebrates emotion over substance, personalities over plans, and would rather focus on fresh new faces than really listen to the words coming out of them. But when you watch Bob Roberts, it's almost impossible not to see the prototype of Sarah Palin, a fake populist with a contrived folksy persona who's really the champion of the rich, a demagogue promising a return to some mythical conservative fantasy country, who claims to speak for the real Americans, as opposed to the apparently fake Americans like myself and probably you watching this. Someone whose strength stems from the anger, racism, intolerance, and ignorance of his followers, which he's only too happy to stoke if it wins an election, and someone with absolutely no solutions for how to make this country a better place. Probably the main difference is that Bob Roberts does all this with a voice that doesn't make you want to stab out your eardrums. I'm Jonathan Kim, and this is a ReThink Review.